This video is going to have to be quick and it's going to have to be dirty with no editing because I'm about to go live over on twitch.tv/Scottejaye87, but I wanted to get a video out about this because it's quite important because a lot of you watched that video last night about emblems coming from quests and the bonus rewards from the satchel, and there's actually been a blue post clarifying some of the issues and the reasoning behind doing it. So I want you to have all the information. I want to have all the information. We want to understand Blizzard's direction and their thoughts as to why they're doing some of these things. So let's jump in and have a look. Agrand, who's a WoW Classic game producer, has said, "Hi everyone, I wanted to chime in and talk a bit about the intent of emblems coming from certain quests in Wrath of the Lich King Classic. I'll be the first to admit that we definitely should have been a bit more clear about why the change was made and what the full intent was and what part of it wasn't intended. It definitely deserved more than a single line in the build notes, and I apologise for that." At the end of the day, they are busy. They're trying to get this game rushed out the door. They're trying to get everything fixed. They're trying to get it out quickly, so we're not going to hold it against them that they haven't dived into too much detail about a game-breaking system, are we? Well, it's not game-breaking, but it's a fairly big change that, yeah, maybe more than one line would have been nice. Then they've said, regarding the change itself, it might help to talk a bit about an interesting piece of technology introduced in Wrath of the Lich King called phasing. Phasing is awesome storytelling tech that we added in 2008 as a way to allow the world to change around players during key storyline moments, and is a great way to make the world feel more alive by allowing your actions as a player to have impact on your surroundings. One unfortunate product of phasing, however, is, sometimes it places players in situations where two friends grouping together are placed in different phases due to being on different steps of key quest chains. As a relatively low-risk method to incentivize players to complete key storylines within each zone and get into the same end stage phases with each other, we decided to add emblems of heroism and other bonus rewards to quests that put players into different phases. I've had some time to reflect on it since putting the video out yesterday, and I don't see it as a bad thing. I've got to admit, the reasoning for it, I don't know. Like, do you really need to be incentivized to complete quests? And is it that much of a big deal that you might be in a different phase to someone else when you're going around farming or whatever? You tell me in the comments, do you think it really needs to be incentivized to get us all onto the same phase? So the idea being that if you had a reason to finish off zone storylines rather than moving on to the next zone with quests unfinished, you're more likely to end up in the same phase as any of your friends who ideally also went ahead and finished all of the key quest chains in each zone. We didn't want to force players into the same phase in a jarring way, and this seemed like a very simple and low impact way to both incentivize completion of zones and give players slight head start on endgame by putting a few extra emblems in their pocket as they're leveling up. I've got to be honest, I don't see it. I'm not complaining just for the sake of complaining. Like, the emblems are going to be there from quests, great, whatever. Somebody said in a YouTube comment yesterday that they got around 41 emblems when they was leveling from 70 to 80. You can buy your trinket straight away as soon as you ding. So that's both good and bad. Again, depends what angle you come at it from. But the reasoning for doing this, I don't get. If you're grouping up with people to, let's say, do the end part of a quest chain, an elite, normally you get that elite quest, don't you, at the end of a chain. So if you're grouping up with people to do that elite quest, they've got the quest as well. So they will be in the same phase as you. I can't think of that many scenarios outside of some high level, like level 80, coming along and then trying to do, a group quest with you to help you out, and they're in a different phase because they never done the pre-quest to it. Like, that's sort of the only issue I can see, maybe long term, but is that really an issue? You tell me. This was not, however, meant to be a permanent, farmable supplement or replacement for heroic dungeons or similar content. This change was applied globally to certain types of quests, mostly elite quests or other quests that place players into new phases, and as a result we likely caught a few quests such as repeatable or daily quests that we did not intend to be impacted by this change. We're going to review the affected quests, and more adjustments are very likely coming in future builds. So I did mention about potentially some dailies giving emblems, like Sons of Hodir dailies and stuff like that. Now, it was more the pre-quest to Sons of Hodir where I was seeing emblems, so I do want to correct myself slightly there, but apparently other people have found daily quests that were given emblems anyway, so it weren't completely wrong. But if we go back to yesterday's video where I was looking through the quest log, it did look like it was just group quests and long quest chains. So it does make sense what he's saying on this post, because That's exactly what we witnessed. This is a beta, and sometimes some unfinished ideas or incorrect implementation sneaks out. We definitely apologise if this caused confusion, and thank you to those that pointed issues with this implementation out to us. Hopefully this post helps provide some context for this particular adjustment and what we're trying to accomplish. Ultimately, the spirit of this change points directly back to our pillar of nurture and protect social experiences. There's not much that feels more damaging to a social aspect of WoW than trying to group with a friend and effectively being unable to interact with each other because you're in different phases due to different story progress. As always, please let us know what you think as time goes by and adjustments continue to be made here. So again, without sounding negative, the one thing I want to say just about the reasoning, not the actual system, not the implementation, because you're getting a bag with rewards in, it's nice, let's be honest. You know, even if you don't want it, you don't want any changes in Wrath, it's still going to be quite nice just to get loads of consumables while you're going around. Even, you know, it may impact alchemy, don't get me wrong, it may impact the economy in general, but getting the emblems, again, being able to get an epic as soon as you ding 80 feels a bit too welfare to me. I'm not a fan. Personally, I think emblems should be removed completely. I don't think they need to be incentivized in that way. The only thing I wouldn't be opposed against is actually when you're level 80 and you go back and do those quests, you get emblems, but I don't think you should get emblems while you're leveling up. As an alternative way at level 80 to go and do some quests, and maybe now you're going to group up with people that are stuck on group quests because you want to get them done to get that emblem, you know, things like that, then maybe, I don't know. But then we'd probably get in a situation where people are just hoarding the quests that they know give emblems, waiting until level 80, then completing them. There's no perfect way. In my opinion, the perfect way would have not to implement this at all. Just my opinion. You're welcome to your opinion. That's mine. I just wouldn't have put it in the game. But when it says, you know, not grouping with friends, so I feel like it's a little bit out of touch. You know, as in, if you think about when you group up with people, you're normally grouping up with your friends to do a group quest that, as I say, you've both already done the quest chain to do, and now you're grouping up for that particular purpose. You'll rarely go, oh, let's go do some quests together in Grizzly Hills, especially if one of you have already done half of the quests, the other person's not even started Grizzly Hills. You would just go to a different zone to start questing because you know you're going to run into some problems. It's going to be in very rare circumstances where, you know, somebody logs on and goes, oh, I'll come and quest with you. And, you know, you've already done, some of a zone and they've not started, or they've done some, you've done some. Odds are you're going to have done quests that they've done because you went to this hub instead of that hub. Because ultimately, because it's not completely linear, you have got options. You know, you can go and do the Kalawak quests first, or you can go and do, you know, Camp Data, do that first, or go up to Fizzcrank's airship first. Airstrip, sorry. So on the basis you can go where you want, trying to sync up with someone without them bringing the whole retail syncing quest system, if you know what I'm talking about. I can't even think about the proper name. Tell me in the comments. I can't remember what it's called. Where you basically can then do all the quests again. There's no perfect way to do it. I don't think incentivizing completing quests is the way to go. But that's everything on the post, and we do appreciate Agrand for actually coming out and giving some useful information and some insight, because getting communication from Blizzard can sometimes be difficult. So on the basis this was only announced yesterday and he's already put a post out today explaining it, we are eternally grateful. Keep up the good work. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, check out Rested XP, best way to level, come Wrath, best way to level now, and for fresh, in the pinned comment and in the description. Roll the outro. There's lots of ways you can support the channel to keep me here putting out World of Warcraft content and covering all future MMOs. Consider joining the channel as a member. You get access to emotes, everyone will know you're a member when you comment on future videos because you get a nice icon next to your name, and you get access to members-only videos, which I'll be putting a lot of on the channel throughout the year. Additionally, there's a Patreon link in the description as well. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you on the next one.